Happy Death Day to You was directed by Christopher Landon and is a sequel to a film called Happy Death Day. For those of you that don't know, Happy Death Day was a horror comedy in the style of Groundhog Day. So the idea is this girl is trying to work out who her assailant is that is killing her, and every time she gets killed, the day starts over again and the loop begins. I thought it was a clever idea. I like the idea of Groundhog Day, but a horror version. I think it worked well for the most part. I found that the comedy was the stronger part of it. I do think that the horror elements were pretty lame and clinged to some standard cliches and tropes of modern Hollywood horror. But I did like it. I thought it was entertaining. It wasn't high art or anything like that, and it was really carried by the performance of Jessica Roth, who plays the main character. So, the idea of the sequel is that it's not only her day that's looping, but it's other people's as well, and she gets sucked into this again. This film went off in some bonkers directions. Seriously, I was not expecting the directions it went in. This film is far more of a comedy than it is horror, much more so than the original. The horror elements are pretty minor and again follows some pretty bad tropes, if I'll be honest. The film is kind of self-aware in certain ways. It has some really cheesy, cringy moments, but I think it's done for the most part on purpose. But it had a massive sci-fi element this time. It went really deep into the multi-dimensions, many worlds theory, and I just really wasn't expecting that. That's why I found that I was confused at what I was watching most of the time. But as I say, the comedy elements were quite strong. The main character, played by Jessica Roth, she is great, and her performance was really the core part of this film that made it work. I would say that I don't prefer it to the first film. It just went into some weird areas. There were some great elements which are based around moral choice, where the main character had to make some very serious decisions because she was in different versions, alternate realities, and some were better than others in one way and others were better than others in different ways. So those elements were really interesting. One of the biggest problems, which I always mention, it's the same with most modern Hollywood horror, the film doesn't have a style. It really doesn't. A lot of it's shot like a TV movie. It doesn't have enough style. The cinematography isn't great. Some of the editing is okay, and it did help with the kind of comedy aspects to it. We once again have the return of the babyface killer. I never really liked the design of this character. It's not scary. It's just someone in a hoodie with a baby mask on. It's just a bit of a weird one, and a weird mascot in the first place, so I don't know. I don't know. The horror elements were very much lackluster in this film. So, I would recommend watching it. I think it has some good elements to it. It's worth watching for the lead actress and the comedy. The comedy was stronger than the first film, but the horror wasn't as good, and there was a really weird sci-fi through line to it. So I'm going to give Happy Death Day a 6 out of 10. Check it out if you want. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Please do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, guys. Thank you very much.